If you ain't heard, 170 people had died in Nigeria yesterday, and the Nigerian media failed to report on this news. Why is it that the Western world has been reporting on this news? Why is it that they said there's going to be no influence from the outer side? They don't want no boots on the ground, respect Nigeria to handle our own affairs. But why is it that USA troops have boots on the ground? We're going to get into this. First of all, first things first, Boom Bam Connect. Welcome back to Chronic's Hotbox. Rest in peace to the 172, I believe, so far, and there's still reports, the numbers might go up, of my Nigerian brothers and sisters that have passed away, that got unalived, should I say. And it's sad to say it's by people that claim to be Muslims. And it's sad that like I've kind of noticed a pattern. Every year before Ramadan, something happens, and it's never like no good media or good like light painted on Muslims, on Islam at a whole. And this is crazy. So basically, Muslim Islamist extremist, should I say, Muslim extremist ties to Boko Haram. Let's just get into this, because it's really like I've been at work itching to get home to make this video. I've already got content coming out today, but we're making 2 videos today. So this one is like, is more of what my page is about, like, because the fact that the Nigerian media didn't report on this is a bit outstanding to me, because in any other country, 170 people dying will be viral news. It will be breaking, like the whole world, like the news should be reported first from Nigeria. And this is really upsetting as a Nigerian, like having to hear the news from other sources. Big up Al Jazeera, because Al Jazeera is probably one of my favourite news stations. Yeah. And it makes me ask questions. Is there a reason why it wasn't put in the Nigerian media? Is there a reason? You know? Like, because 170 people, like in certain countries, I know in England, if 170 animals died, it will be in the news. So what are we saying? Like, our people in Nigeria, our people are not worth to be reported on and not to be made aware. And these people that claim themselves, these extremists that claim themselves to be Muslim, not to be put ashamed and not to be shamed and blasted, and let the people know that, we're doing something and we're getting it sorted. Then on top of that, we'll get into the outside forces.
Here is Western Kwara State. Police say bandits burned homes and shops during an attack late on Tuesday. Schools across Kwara State had been closed in recent days because of rising violence. The governor approved the resumption of classes on Sunday, saying the security situation had improved. Ahmed Idris joins us live from Abuja. Ahmed, what more do you know about this?
Well, basically, Nick, it was around 6 p.m. local time that dozens of gunmen, known locally as bandits, but again, we continue to hear from locals that this is a signature attack by an extremist group that is linked to Boko Haram. There's a commander that operates in that area called Sadiko. That's the suspect at the time being, for the time being. We understand that these gunmen
is a commander that was meant to have taken these guys to Kwara to commit this atrocity, allegedly.
Targeted this community around 6 p.m. local time, which is around 5:17 hours GMT, and then encircled communities started firing at random, killing. Initially, the numbers we got yesterday was around 40, and then as the day wore on, until this morning, we realized that the number has increased from 40 to 70, and now we're hearing about 172 people who've been killed. It's not clear how many people have been abducted yet, but again, we continue to see a similar incidents whenever there is increased military activity in areas where these armed groups are strong, either bandits or Boko Haram or ISWAP in the northeast of Nigeria or in the northwest of Nigeria. There have been recent military operations in that area, and we've seen that regularly in almost every state where there's been a recent military activity there. The military has announced that they have destroyed camps being operated by these armed groups in that particular region of Nigeria.
But destroying camps ain't good enough. Where's the people that were at the camps? Who's been apprehended? You know what I mean?
A few days later, we're seeing this. So basically, what we understand right now is the number of the dead has risen to more than 170, and there are more who have not been accounted for. What is not clear at the moment is how many people have been.
So there is still more that ain't been accounted for. The numbers could go up. This could be a crazy atrocity going into the 200.
But communities or locals in that area, in Wara community, are saying that they are not aware of any person who've been abducted. The purpose of the attackers was to kill as many as possible, and they have done. Nick?
Ahmed Idris joining us live from Abuja on that.
How do you know the purpose of the attackers? That's what I would like to know. Yeah. Because it doesn't seem, you ain't said that the police has apprehended or the army has apprehended anyone. So it doesn't, like, I don't understand. But one thing I do understand is that this is, like, if you remember, let me find out what year was it taken by Boko Haram. It's been a decade. So on the night of the 14th to the 15th of April 2014, 276 schoolgirls were kidnapped from the government girls' school in Chibok, Borno State. The event sparked a global Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Yeah? And look, in 2015, approximately 40 boys and young men were abducted in Malaria, Borno State. In 2018, 110 girls were kidnapped in a school in Debachi, Yobo State. 2020, 300 boys were abducted in a school in Kara in Christina State. As of April 2024, approximately 82 to 91 of the original 276 Chibok girls remain missing in captivity. The other have either escaped on their own or were released through government-led negotiation and prisoner swaps. How's man even like negotiating or releasing prisoners? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna go to the France 24 news, yeah, because we're gonna look at the next part, because I remember the Nigerian president putting out a statement saying that leave Nigeria to deal with their own affairs, leave Africa to deal with their own affairs. They don't want no foreign, no Western boots on the ground. And as of this morning, a new operation, tell you the name of it right now, Operation Savannah, has been launched. Actually, from 2 days ago, by the time you see this, probably 2 days ago or a day, yeah. But Operation Savannah has been launched, yeah. And Operation Savannah has, they say, a small USA troop with boots on the ground as part of this operation. And my question is, what happened
attacks
to
after 162 people from a Muslim village are killed in an armed raid? We hear from our correspondent about how US troops' presence in the country will affect the landscape.
Does this kind of look like
also,
Africa
at the funeral of a
crumbling
Kenyan man
for
killed
the
in
help
Russia's
of the
invasion
West?
of Ukraine, those left behind
Where?
rail against the diplomatic silence and
Are we not
inertia
strong enough
of
in
the hundreds
Africa?
of young
And we
Africans
look at
being
our brothers
funneled
in Ghana,
to the front lines of a
Burkina
war
Faso,
far away.
Mali, and all these states.
And Cameroons
Are we
hoping
not
that
unite
people living in
with our
Yaoundé
brothers
will help
to
tackle
eradicate
the
this
city's
problem within
enormous
Africa,
waste problem by sweeping
with
their
our
own
resources?
streets with donated cleaning kit.
Because sometimes when you ask, or like bring in...
But first, Nigeria set up a new military operation to
other
tackle
people to your
extremism after 162 people were killed in a brutal attack
it never
on
comes
2
with,
Muslim
like,
villages.
No one backs it for free, innit? It's rare. Man's gonna want something after.
This week. The raid
What is their intention? No one backs a beef with just backs it. You know what I mean?
on
There's
Woro
intention
and
behind
Nuku
it.
in
There
Kwara
has to
State
be
on
some
Tuesday has
form of
been
gain. There has to
slammed
be
as a
something
stunning
that
security failure. No one's claimed
America
responsibility,
sees that
but an
they
army
will
battalions
benefit from
being
this.
deployed
Do you
to
understand what I
Kwara
mean?
State,
Are we
which is
on the same
increasingly
page
being
here?
used as a hideout by armed
Just dig
groups.
into this a bit.
Operation Savannah Shield's mission will be to protect communities most vulnerable to attack. And as again made clear by this week's violence, that includes both Muslim and Christian Nigerians. The US has confirmed that it's also sent forces over to help the country tackle its complex security crisis, but some worry that Washington's oversimplification of Nigeria's problem could hamper the impact of its contribution. Sam Olakoya breaks it down for us.
After carrying out airstrikes on locations described as Islamic State camps in northwest Nigeria last December, it seems the United States is not done with its military mission in the country. The United States military agenda enters another phase with boots on the ground. The head of the U.S. Africa Command, David Anderson, confirmed that a small team of U.S. forces have been dispatched to Nigeria.
As I said,
The mission is to strengthen the mutual agreement between the United States and Nigeria in the fight against terror threats in the region. Nigerians are curious about more specific details of the U.S. troop deployment. There is hardly any information about such
army battalions being deployed to Kwara State, which is increasingly being used as a hideout by armed groups. Operation Savannah Shield's mission will be to protect communities most vulnerable to attack. And as again made clear by this week's violence, that includes both Muslim
important
and
details,
Christian
like when the
Nigerians.
troops arrived in
The US
Nigeria,
has confirmed
their
that it's
number,
also
their
sent
location,
forces over to
how
help
long they will be in the
tackle
country,
its
and
complex
crucially,
security
what
crisis.
duties they will
Some
perform.
worry that Washington's
But of course, critics will want to question what is the latent function, what is the ulterior motive of the US being in Nigeria, putting boots on ground, no matter how small the contingent may be. Are they here genuinely to help Nigeria fight terrorism, or they have other, interests, access to Nigerian mineral resources, and all of that? Of course, their presence again also can be read as undermining Nigeria's, sovereignty and all of that.
US forces have been dispatched to Nigeria. The mission is to strengthen the mutual agreement between the United States and Nigeria in the fight against terror threats in the region. Nigerians are curious about more specific details of the US troop deployment.
We are
There is
curious.
hardly any information about such information.
We are curious. Look, we are curious because we ain't understand. No one backs a beef or get involved. What was the deal? Like, why? Like, because it was said no boots on the ground, and now there's boots, tanks, burners, corn, everything.
Important details, like when the troops arrived in Nigeria, their number, their location, how long they will be in the country, and crucially, what duties they will perform.
But of course, critics will want to question what is the latent function, what is the ulterior motive of the US being in Nigeria, putting boots on ground, no matter how small the contingent may be. Are they here genuinely to help Nigeria fight terrorism, or they have other, interests, access to Nigerian mineral resources?
Exactly. Like, what are the interests?
And all of
Everyone's
that.
gonna ask
Of
these
course,
questions.
their presence again also can be read as undermining Nigeria's, sovereignty and all of that.
Exactly. Secondly, like the president is like, why are you like asking man to back the beef? Like, if anything, ask your African brothers. Ask my man from Burkina Faso, Ibrahim. Ask these guys. But why are we asking the West to come and like, come on, guys, man? Like, and I know Dangote ain't with this, man, but obviously, I wish Dangote was the president of Nigeria. Dangote should be the president of Nigeria. A lot will be different. That's my genuine belief. I ain't gonna lie. I know he's a businessman, but he's moral. Man says morals. His morals. Yeah, are definitely, because there's not like, I don't know if the Nigerian government feel like the Nigerian people don't need the information, or they don't like, they're not. It's not that like they don't need it, innit? Like, they don't need to be informed. You get what I mean? But these things create unsettlement. It creates distrust. It creates what is going on. Like, I ain't gonna lie, and we need to understand, like, we're like right now. There's been a local movement over the last couple of years where Africa has just been. It's been shown in its real light. It's been shown like people are going back home. I know my generation are going back home, investing, building this, partying, that, all these things. Like, people are going back to Africa to vacate, to invest. Don't let these people make Africa seem like not a safe place. Because there's always a thing like before, Africa is, it's not built up, it's poor, everything is, you get what I mean? I've been going to Naj from a youth, and I knew that Naj was lit. We need to make it make sense. Deal with this situation on the ground within our own resources. We got this. It's down to us. Because at the end of the day, it's funny that the people that have the boots on the ground are allegedly, well, the people that funded a lot of these malicious groups. A lot of these malicious groups are funded by the West to topple a government, to take someone out of power. Like, they've been flooding our news right now with the Epstein files. If you know about what's going on in Africa, there's so many things going on. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Africa is building back to becoming the great continent that it is, that we all know that it is. Yeah? And if it carries on, it's going to be the powerhouse. Yeah? They draw us small on the map for a reason. To make us feel small. We need to understand that these things are in-house. Let's deal with it in-house. Let's bring our African brothers. Hey, Ghana, come back it. Hey, Mali, come back it. Let's raid all these form of malicious group. So Africa is open for business. Tourists, people want to come home and feel safe. Yeah, man. Like, and definitely not reporting on news. Like, journalists and Nigerian journalists, and what's going on, man? What's going on? Don't let us content creators have to be the journalists of the new world, because it seems like we are. Guys, this one is not a good one. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all, man. I'm not happy at all. This was like, bro. It'll be your own people. Either for money, for greed, for something. It'll be your own people. But it's also your own people that can only get you out of this. Calling other people is just going to make you look weaker, man. But guys, girls, like, comment, and subscribe. Boom, bam, connect. I didn't report on the lights at the start, because I've just been like, my whole day at work, I've just been watching things. my whole vibe is just like, bro, why? Like, I hate it when my country just looks popped down on a world scale. It's like, bruh. Now I know how it felt to be flipping Morocco after that World Cup. I'm joking. But yeah, man. Boom Bam Connect. Like, comment, subscribe. Link in the bio, man. Get the book, man. Rich Trapper, Poor Trapper, man. Rest in peace to everyone that died, man. Let's go. Push.